I just want to give you a quick recap of this chapter, whatever we have discussed until now. So, in the first session, we talked about the basic concept of company, wherein I told you about the meaning of the company. Wherein I explained that company has been defined as per under the section 2, subsection 68 of the Companies Act 2013, which says that a company is a company which is formed and registered under the Companies Act 2013. All right, and then we talked about various features of the company, and apart from this, we also discussed the different kinds of company. Then we also talked about the uh, share capital and the different categories in which share capital can be classified. So we understood the concept of authorized capital, issued capital, subscribed capital, called up, paid up, uncalled, reserve, all this. We covered all these things in the previous session. So I hope everything that we discussed until now is clear to both of you. Is that clear or not? Everything is clear? Do you have any question?
No, sir, no questions.
All right. So in today's class, we'll discuss about the issue of share capital. Now, finally, in today's session, we'll discuss questions based on issue of share capital. But for that purpose, we'll have to understand that when shares are issued by the company in the market, there can be two situations in which share can be issued in the market. First of all, share can be issued in the market for cash. That means when it is being issued to public, it can be issued for cash, and or it can be issued for consideration other than cash. So we'll talk about these two situations in detail. Let's just first of all focus upon when the shares are issued for cash, then the amount against the issued share can be received in lump sum or it can be received on installment. All right, and if it is being received at lump sum, it can be at par or premium. Similarly, if any asset is if any shares are issued on installment, then the various installment in which the company is going to receive the amount could be application money, allotment money, or the call money. On the other hand, when shares are issued for consideration other than price, in this case, amount is always received on lump sum basis. No installment is applicable in this situation. And obviously, if it is being received on lump sum basis, it could be at par or at premium. All right. So you will be able to understand these things. The two questions only. Right now, I just wanted to make it clear that when we'll discuss questions based on issue of shares in this chapter, question can be a question. Such kind of question can be there wherein shares are being issued for cash, and there could be questions wherein shares are being issued for consideration other than cash. And if it is in terms of cash, then it could be on lump sum basis or an installment basis. There are different cases upon which question can be drafted in this chapter. We will be able to cover this. We will be covering all these different situations. We'll be able to cover all these through different questions. You don't have to be worried about that. There are so many situations that we need to cover. But this is too easy. We will be covering all these situations one by one. It is not going to be problematic for you. We'll cover all these three with ease and one by one. All right, so let's start with, first of all, let's talk about possibility when shares are issued to public. There are three possibilities that shares are fully subscribed. Like, for example, if 10,000 shares are being issued to public, there is a possibility that all 10,000 shares are completely subscribed by the public. That means all 10,000 shares are public are willing to purchase all the shares of the company. 100% shares of the company are purchased. That means fully subscribed. So there is a situation, number one, when shares are issued to public. First situation could be all the shares are 100%. Second situation can be oversubscribed. That means company actually issued 10,000 shares, but public have applied to purchase 12,000 shares. Company have only issued 10,000, but public is very much interested in that company, and public is willing to purchase more than the shares the company have issued. So public have actually applied for 12,000 shares. All right. So public is anyways going to get only 10,000 shares. But the thing is that right now we are discussing that if company issues shares, there is a possibility all the shares are 100% subscribed. Number two, there is more subscription than the number of shares issued. So if 10,000 shares are issued and 12,000 subscriptions are applications were made, public are willing to purchase more shares as compared to the number of shares issued. That is called oversubscription of shares. And then there is a situation which is called undersubscription, wherein let's suppose 10,000 shares were issued and only 9,500 shares were subscribed. Not all shares are sold in the market. Only 9,000 shares, 900 shares, 9,200 shares or 9,500 shares were sold in the market. This is a case of undersubscription. So there are three possible situations when it comes to the issue of shares in the market. Share can be 100% subscribed, share could be undersubscribed or oversubscribed. All right. Okay. Now let me tell you what journal entry we need to have. We usually pass when shares are issued. Let's do a question quickly to understand this. All right, both of you, I want you to take the screenshot of this question. We'll try to understand how the treatment is done or what journal entry is required when shares are issued to public. So we'll try to understand this through this example. Just take the screenshot, let me know whenever you are done.
Done, sir.
Done, okay. So see, this is a case of lump sum. Issued share are being issued at lump sum. It says Grand Marketing Limited issued 250,000 equity shares of rupees 10 each to public. All the amounts have been received in lump sum. Pass necessary journal entry in the book of the company. All right, so let's do the journal entry. So we need to pass the journal entry. But before that, let me tell you how many shares were issued by this company. Issued share. Company have issued 250,000 shares. And share were issued at lump sum, having a face value of rupees 10 each. That means value of each share is rupees 10. So if company have issued 250,000 and value of each share is price of each share is 10 rupees each, that means company wanted to raise 25 lakh rupees by selling by 250,000 shares to the public. All right, and now this shares is being subscribed by the public on lump sum basis. Let's now pass the journal entry. Journal entry. in the books of brand marketing. Okay. So see, when shares are issued to public, first thing that will happen, public is going to apply for the shares. When 250,000 shares are issued to public, public is going to apply for these shares, right? And when these shares are applied, when company will when public will apply for the share, company is going to get some amount as soon as the public will apply. So as the company have issued 250,000 shares, that means public is going to give 10 rupees for 250,000 shares. That means company is going to receive 250, 25 lakh. Bank account will be debited. Bank account debit to bank account debit to equity share application. Public will first of all apply for the shares to equity share application. Then company issue share. First thing that will happen, public will apply for the share, and along with the application, public will pay some amount. And since this is a case of lump sum issue of share at lump sum, that means public is going to pay the entire sum of money at the same time. All right. So as soon as the application will be made by the public, company is going to receive how much? Company will be receiving 250,000 or 250,000 shares, 10 rupees each. That means company will be collecting 25 lakh rupees. Bank account will be debited by 25 lakh, and this is against the equity share capital. For equity share application, so amount will be credited to equity share application itself. And we'll write down the narration as being share application money or share application amount received. All right, is that clear? As soon as the application will be made by public, company is going to get 10 rupees each for 250,000 shares. That means 25 lakh rupees.
But sir, this is lump sum, right?
Yeah, this is lump sum.
So
That means
shouldn't we
entire
write
amount
application and allotment together?
application. Yeah, we can do that as I'm sorry. Instead of writing to application only, you can write down to equity share application and allotment account. You can do this as well. 45. All right. And once since the share application is received, now we will have to basically transfer this amount to share capital. So we'll have to pass one more entry for transferring this amount to share capital. So for that, the journal entry will be share application, and allotment account debit, share application and allotment account debit to equity share capital. And narration will be being application money transferred to share capital account. All right, and we'll write down the amount as well, 25 lakh and 25. All right, is that clear to you? Both of you, is that clear, Prerna and Chitra?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, that means to this question, we understood one thing, that whenever shares are issued on lump at par, whenever shares are issued at par and on lump sum basis, we need to pass two entries. First entry for the receipt of application money, receipt of application money, and second entry will be for the transfer of application money to share capital account. These two entries will be required. All right, I hope this is clear. So as soon as the application money is received, we pass the journal entry as bank account debit to share application allotment account debit. Bank account debit to share application and allotment account. And similarly, when we need to transfer application money to share capital, that time we pass the journal entry as equity share application and allotment account debit to share capital account. Now, as soon as the application amount is received, the journal entry that we do, this is also called entry for the receipt of application. This is called receipt entry. And this is also called transfer entry. This is also called transfer entry. All right. I hope this is clear, both of you. Okay, let's discuss this question. Question number 2. It says authorized capital is 16 lakh of Bharat Limited divided into 1,60,000 equity shares of rupees 10 each. Out of these shares, 80,000 equity shares are being issued at par to public for subscription. The full nominal value is payable on application. All these shares were subscribed by the public and total amount was paid for past necessary journal entries in the book of the company. What do you think? Do you think you'll be able to solve it? Shifa, Prerna? Shifa and Prerna? Pass the journal entry for
Yes,
this
sir.
question. Prerna, what do you think? You'll be able to do it?
Yes, sir.
Okay then. So, right. Out of 1,60,000 equity share, we have just decided to issue 80,000 shares. Done, both of you? Done, yes or no? Shifa?
Yes, sir, done.
Yes, sir, done.
Okay. Then you please tell me the entry. Prerna? The entry for the receipt of application. Sorry?
Bank account debit to equity share application account.
Equity share application and allotment.
Yeah.
Right? Because this is a case of lump sum, so you
Yes.
must be collecting the entire amount along with the application and for the allotment as well. So application and allotment. And amount is
8 lakh.
8 lakh.
Yes,
All
sir.
right. And Shifa, could you please tell me the other entry?
Equity share application and allotment account debit to equity share capital.
That's right. Okay, very good. Okay, so this was these were two questions based on the lump sum. Let's discuss a question wherein the shares are being issued and the payment is going to be received on installment basis. So see, when shares are being issued, we are just covering a case when the shares are being issued at par, that means at face value. Assume, let's suppose that equity share, there is a equity share having a face value of 100 rupees. So it is being issued at 100 rupees only. And it is fully subscribed, 100% subscribed. But when company issue shares, sometimes company requires their shareholders to pay the amount on installment basis. Sometime company requires to pay the investors on installment basis. That means when it comes to installment could be like this. For it could be first installment is called the application. Second installment is called allotment. Third installment is called the first call and second call, and so on. So, like for example, if company have decided to raise the fund in four installment, so the first installment will be called the application. Second installment will be called allotment. Third installment will be called first call, and last will be called the second or final call. All right. So to understand this concept, let's discuss the third question. So it says, let's read this question. It says Akanksha Leather Limited invited application for 10,000 shares of rupees 100 each payable as follows. 20 rupees on application, 30 on allotment, 20 on first call, and the balance on final call. All the shares were applied and allotted. All the money was duly received. You are required to journalize these transactions. Okay, so I hope the question is clear. The question is just telling us that 10,000 were issued by 10,000 shares were issued by the company having a face value of 100 each. But company have decided to raise this fund not on lump sum basis. Company have decided to raise this 100 rupees per share in 4 installment, in fact. Right? 20 out of 100 rupees, company have decided to raise 20 rupees on application, 30 when shares will be allotted, and 20 rupees on first call, and the balance will be called on the final call. And we need to pass the general entry. So let me solve this question for you, and I'll give you other questions to solve. Just a minute. Question number 3. So in this question, number of shares issued. Number of shares issued is 10,000. All right, and face value of each share is 100 rupees each. But company have decided to collect this amount from the subscribers or the investors on installment. Company wanted to raise 20 rupees on application. Then public will apply for the share. They need to pay 20 rupees on application. Then public, when the shares are allotted, shares will be allotted to public. They will be asked to pay 30 rupees as a second installment. Then on first call, they will be required to pay 20 rupees, and remaining means remaining out of 100. Total value of share is 100 rupees. Remember? So the remaining amount will be how much? 3 plus 2 plus 2. That means final call, or you can also call it second call. Final call will be of 30 rupees. Got it? Is that clear? And now we will pass the entries. Please tell me pre-identify. Is this clear? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yes, clear.
Now we'll pass the entry. We will first of all pass the entry for the application. And for each installment, we'll have to pass 2 entries. One for making it due, and second for the receipt of that installment. But first of all, let's talk about the application. First of all, we'll receive the amount of application. So on allotment, on application, that's for application, the general entry will be bank account debit. Only in case of application, we pass the receipt entry first and then the entry for the transfer of the share capital. Sorry, transfer of the application amount to share capital. Or in all other cases, receipt entry will be the second entry, not the first entry. Bank account debit to equity share application. And since company have issued 10,000 shares and decided to raise 20 rupees on application, that means company will be able to collect 2 lakh rupees on application. Is that correct? Is that fair? This is the journal entry for the receipt of application amount being application money receipt. Please tell me if this is clear, yes or no.
Yes, clear.
Clear. Then we need to pass one more entry for the first installment for transferring this application amount to equity share capital, right? So that will be equity share application just a minute. Equity share application account, which is 2 lakh, to equity share capital. And relation for this will be being application money transferred to share capital account. All right, is that clear? Yes or no? This will be the complete journal entry for the application. Please tell me if this is clear, yes or no. Both
Yes,
of you. Okay. Then we will be passing the journal entry for the second installment, which is allotment. Well, the journal entry for that will be, in that case, we'll first of all make the allotment due and then we will receive the payment. Only in case of application we receive the amount first and then we pass the transfer entry. But in case of the all other installments, we pass the entry for making it due first and then we will transfer that in uh, uh, transfer. Sorry. First we will pass the journal entry for making it due and then for the receipt of that amount, that installment. So on allotment, journal entry will be, first will be, just a moment. Please give me a moment. There's an important call coming. All right. So the first entry for this will be for allotment. It will be share allotment, or in fact the equity share allotment. Account debit to share capital. Share capital account. And the amount of allotment was how much? It was 30 rupees per share on allotment. 10,000 shares were issued. 10,000 into 30 will be how much? 3 lakh. Is that right? Tell me, Prerna and Shifa, is that clear to you?
Yes, sir.
And narration could be being share allotment due. Okay. And then we'll pass the journal entry for the receipt of allotment. And that will be, obviously, bank account will be debited. And the allotment money will be received. Bank account will be debited to equity share allotment, or you can simply write down to share allotment account. See. Tell me both of you if this is clear, yes or no? Is that clear?
Yes,
Yes.
sir.
Okay, then we'll pass the journal entry for the third installment, which is first call. On first call, journal entry will be this will be equity share first call account debit to equity share capital account, and the amount on first call was first call was 20 rupees. So 10 into 20 will be. This is the journal entry for making the first call due, right? And you can write down the narration on your own. Being first call due. All right, is that clear? And then we'll pass the journal entry for the receipt of first call amount, bank account debit, to equity share first call account to that and to you. Tell me, both of you, if this is clear, yes or no? Prerna, Shita?
Yes, sir. It's clear.
Yes, sir.
And one last installment on fourth installment, that on the final call, general entry will be. Will you be able to tell me the general entry for the last installment? Shifa, could you please tell me? Journal entry for the last
Share
call.
second and
Mhm.
final call account debit to share capital.
That is right. And for the receipt, it will be bank account debit to share final call. All right, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Prerna and Jafar, will you be able to pass the general entry on your own? Na? The fourth call?
Yeah.
For the final?
Yes.
For the final call, okay. All right then. So this is it. This is it for this question. And let's move to the next question, which was all about question number 3. We'll quickly complete the final call journal entry, then we'll do one more question. Let me know whenever you are done. Done? Last
Yes, sir.
entry done? For the
Yeah.
final
Done.
call. Done. Okay, so let's do one more question. Question number 4. Let's read this question first. It says National Limited was registered with the authorized capital of 3 lakh divided into 300 shares of 100 each, which were offered to the public, amount payable as rupees 30 per share on application, 40 per share on allotment, 30 per share on first and final call. These shares were fully subscribed and all the money was duly received. Prepare journal entry. And prepare journal and also the cash book. You think you will be able to solve this question? Let's do one thing. Let's do one thing. For this question, don't prepare cash book. Just pass the journal entry without considering that in this question you need to prepare the cash. Let me for now, for the time being, let me just delete this part. Well, let's just do one thing. Let's prepare the cash book for this question. But one thing you'll have to remember in this situation, that whenever question asks you to prepare the journal along with the cash book, in that situation, no journal entry will be required. No journal entry will be required for the receipt of any installment. If we have received any, if we receive any amount on application or on allotment or on first call or on the final call, we won't be passing the journal entry for that, because we are required to prepare the cash book. So all the cash related transaction or all the receipt related transaction will be recorded there in the cash book. No journal entry will be required for that. That means whenever cash book is required to be calculated in the question, whenever question requires you to prepare the cash book, in that situation you just need to pass the entry for making the installment due. No receipt entry will be required. You understand that? No receipt entry will be required. Entire amount which is received on application, allotment, on first and final call need to be directly shown in the cash book only. You understand this? Both of you, just tell me if this is clear to you or not.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
All right. So in this question, it says that total authorized capital of this company is 3 lakh divided into 3,000 shares of 100 each, which were offered to the public. So entire 3,000 shares are being offered to public. Amount payable as 30 per share on application, 40 per share on allotment, and rupees 30 per share on first and final call. So in this question, we will just pass the entry for making the installment due. We won't be passing any journal entry for the receipt of the amount. Let me show you. Solution to question number. Oh. Okay, so first of all, on application, journal entry will be anyone? Apart from the receipt entry, we do the transfer entry, na? So we'll do the transfer entry. Equity share application,
Account debit to
share application account debit to share capital. Is that right? Is that clear? Share capital account. And 3,000 shares were issued having a value of 30 each. The amount of application is 30 each. So this will be 90,000, I guess. Huh? Yeah. All right. Then we'll pass the entry for making the allotment due on allotment. Tell me, Shifa, if this is clear or not. Shifa?
Yes, sir. It's clear.
So for making the allotment due, journal entry will be share allotment account debit to share capital, right? And on allotment, company have decided to raise 40 per share. So that means 1,20,000 on allotment. Then on first call, for first call, it will be share first call account debit to share capital account. And company have decided to raise on first and final call. Okay, first and final call, 30 rupees. That means this should be first and final call. Sorry. First and final call account, 90,000. Is it clear, both of you? Prerna, Shifa?
yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay then. Now we need to prepare the cash account in this question as well. And all cash related transaction will be recorded here only. Okay. So we have received some amount on application, na, we'll first of all write down the value, write down the amount that we have received on application. So we'll write that like this: share application. Such account will be debited by share capital account, share application account, 90,000, right now? 30,000 in 3,000 into 30. Then we have received some amount on allotment, so share allotment account, 30,000 into 3,000 into 40, 1,20,000, and share first and final call. This was 90,000 as well. 3,000 into 30. Okay, now we will close this account. So this one is 3 lakh. And on the other side, balancing figure can be written by balance TD 3 lakh. All right, is this clear, both of you? Shifa, Prerna?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Okay, so what I was what we covered through this question is that whenever a question asks you to prepare the cash book along with the journal, you just need to pass the journal entry for making the allotment, making the